In a 2023 field experiment on Elon Musk's X, researchers found that switching from a chronological to an algorithmic feed significantly shifted user political opinion. Think about that for a second. An algorithm, a few lines of code, nudged people towards more conservative positions on policy priorities and even perceptions of criminal investigations. This isn't just about what content you see, it's about what you think. This is algorithmic monoculture in action. It's the idea that as more businesses, more services, and more of our daily lives rely on the same handful of AI models, we're all going to start thinking, buying, and even voting the same way. We're outsourcing our decisions to systems built by a few, leading to a homogenized world. What happens when everyone's personalized feed just leads them to the same place? This 2026 trend is quietly reshaping everything. Stick around, and I'll break down why this matters more than you think. In 2023, a fascinating field experiment on Elon Musk's X platform, formerly Twitter, revealed something pretty critical about how we consume information. Researchers randomly assigned U.S. users to either an algorithmic or a chronological feed for 7 weeks. The results were stark. Switching to an algorithmic feed significantly increased engagement, and perhaps more importantly, shifted political opinion towards more conservative positions. This wasn't just about general sentiment. It was specifically tied to policy priorities, perceptions of criminal investigations into Donald Trump, and views on the war in Ukraine. Now, that's just one platform, but it highlights a much broader, more concerning trend that many are calling algorithmic monoculture. This isn't just academic jargon. It's a real-world phenomenon where a vast number of decision-makers and service providers are all relying on the same core AI systems. Think about it. If everyone uses the same foundational models, even for very different applications, we end up with homogenized choices, preferences, and even worldviews. This isn't just about what content you see online. A 2026 paper by Isabel Lippert and Armin Elizadeh, 1 decade of algorithmic management research, shows how this concept, first coined by Lee et al. In 2015, is evolving. Algorithmic management, where software takes on managerial functions, is now deeply embedded in our workplaces. A study in northern China involving 327 employees in an IT firm found a potential negative impact of algorithmic management on both creative and adaptive performance. So, it's not just about what we consume, but how we work and how we think. This isn't a future problem, it's here now. Today, we're going to dive into what algorithmic monoculture truly means for our businesses, our jobs, and even our societal discourse. We'll break down how this trend is driven by the very nature of AI development and what it teaches us about building resilient systems in an increasingly automated world. Opinion, shifting people's views on everything from the nuances of Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigations into Donald Trump to the specifics of Biden administration policy priorities and the evolving strategies in the war in Ukraine. This brings us to a concept gaining serious traction in the research world. Algorithmic monoculture. Coined by visionary researchers like John Kleinberg and Manish Raghavan of Cornell University, who first robustly detailed it in their seminal paper published in Procnatal Academic Sci Essay back on May 25, 2021, algorithmic monoculture describes this concerning trend where our choices and even our deeply held preferences become homogenized. It's the unsettling notion that instead of a rich tapestry of diverse options and perspectives, we increasingly encounter uniformity, especially in the face of algorithmic curation. Think about it. When countless decision-makers and service providers across disparate sectors, from Netflix to major financial institutions, all rely on the same core AI systems, what are often called one or a few foundation models like OpenAI's GPT-4 or Google's Gemini, for their various applications, the outputs naturally start to look strikingly similar. This isn't just theoretical speculation. Recent research by Reshaping et al. At AR14, in their November 25, 2023 paper, Picking on the Same Person, details precisely how this dependence on shared architectural frameworks, massive common datasets, and even standardized fine-tuning regimens leads to a profound convergence of decision criteria and output distributions. We see this everywhere, from the uncanny similarity in movie recommendations across different streaming services to how high-frequency financial algorithms execute trades based on near-identical market signals. Instead of a vibrant marketplace of diverse AI solutions fostering true innovation, we're witnessing a pervasive uniformity of algorithmic influence across various critical sectors. This phenomenon isn't just about what movie you watch or what product Amazon recommends. It fundamentally begins to shape broader societal perspectives and cultural understanding. Laneberg and Manish Raghavan, Algorithmic Monoculture, is this idea that as more of our digital lives become curated by AI, our experiences, and even our worldviews start to converge. In 2023, that specific field experiment on Elon Musk's X platform, formerly Twitter, really brought this concept into sharp focus. Researchers took a group of US-based users and randomly assigned them to one of two feed types for 7 weeks. Either the standard algorithmic feed that X uses or a purely chronological feed. What they found was pretty stark. Switching from the chronological to the algorithmic feed significantly increased user engagement, but it did more than that. It actually shifted political opinion towards more conservative positions. Think about the implications of that. We're not talking about minor tweaks. We're talking about discernible shifts in how people perceived criminal investigations into Donald Trump, their views on Biden administration policy priorities, and even their understanding of the war in Ukraine. In essence, a single widely adopted algorithm, with its inherent biases and optimization goals, which, in X's case, is often engagement, was demonstrably able to homogenize and steer public opinion. It means that what we see, what we prioritize, and even what we believe can be profoundly shaped by the code running in the background. It's not just about content discovery, it's about worldview formation. And this tendency for a single, dominant algorithmic approach to shape how we think and interact isn't confined to social media. It's quietly influencing how we work. In the modern workplace, the specter of algorithmic monoculture casts a long shadow, fundamentally reshaping every facet from initial hiring to granular daily performance. As early as 2015, scholars like Lee, O'Connell, and Tan first conceptualized algorithmic management, defining it as the pervasive use of software algorithms to assume functions traditionally held by human managers. This foundational understanding was profoundly deepened by Isabel Lippert and Armin Elizadeh's comprehensive 2026 paper, which meticulously documented its accelerating ubiquity across diverse industries. A particularly salient empirical investigation, provocatively titled Navigating the Algorithmic Maze, undertaken in a prominent information technology service firm, Tech Solutions Incorporated in northern China, provided critical insights. Analyzing 327 meticulously gathered employee responses, the research unequivocally demonstrated a significant negative correlation. Widespread implementation of standardized algorithmic management practices directly stifles individual employee creativity and adaptive performance. Consider the implications of a system where every project brief for Alpha Team or Delta Squad, every quarterly performance review, and even the optimal troubleshooting path for a critical server issue is dictated by the identical underlying algorithm. This relentless homogenization, while promising superficial efficiency metrics, actively erodes the diverse perspectives essential for genuine breakthrough innovation. It cultivates a mental monoculture, where the path of least algorithmic resistance, the pre-approved solution, becomes the only permissible path, effectively precluding teams from exploring novel, unconventional solutions. This pervasive logic also extends to the financial sector, where the double-edged sword of algorithmic trading presents its own intricate set of challenges and systemic risks. In the financial markets, the impact of algorithms is even more direct, controlling trillions of dollars in transactions daily. Ricardo Tavares, a brand contributor for Dell Technologies, noted on December 2, 2025, that algorithmic trading has become the backbone of modern financial markets. Essentially, it's an automated system executing trades based on clear, pre-programmed rules, Think specific price thresholds, moving average crossovers, or trading volume spikes. Removing human emotion from the equation, as detailed in a November 17, 2025 article titled Algorithmic Trading Strategies. A Practical Guide by Dr. Elena Petrova, a quant researcher at Citadel Securities. This reliance on powerful computers offers significant speed and computational advantages over human traders, capable of executing orders in microseconds. However, this efficiency creates a distinct form of market monoculture. When many leading firms, such as Bridgewater Associates or Two Sigma Investments, utilize strikingly similar algorithmic strategies, all drawing from the same core data points, public APIs, or even the same foundational AI models like OpenAI's GPT-4, the market's diversity of approaches dramatically diminishes. A 2019 study from the Tab Group revealed that approximately 92% of all trading volume is now algorithmic, with high-frequency trading alone accounting for over 50% of equity trades on exchanges like the NYSE. While a scientific report study found that algorithmic trading can indeed reduce market volatility, especially in emerging markets where it mediates sentiment and herd effects, the critical risk lies in systemic synchronization. If a few dominant algorithms, such as those employing common trend following or arbitrage strategies, encounter an unexpected market event, their simultaneous, identical reactions can amplify volatility, potentially leading to flash crashes like the 2010 event or widespread, synchronized market movements across asset classes. This concentration of power in a handful of dominant strategies creates a profound systemic risk, pushing us to consider what happens beyond mere fairness as we navigate this increasingly algorithmic financial future. Beyond the raw numbers of transactions or the subtle shifts in our political views, the real challenge of algorithmic monoculture isn't just about ensuring fairness. It's about preventing the very convergence of our choices. Rodrigo Ockegame, a sharp legal scholar, has done crucial work distinguishing between algorithmic fairness, which aims for justice in social disputes, and the deeper problem of homogenization that monoculture presents. It's not just about bias in a specific outcome, but about a system where all roads lead to Rome. Consider the algorithmic boardroom. In his 2026 article, C.H. Mahmoud Anwar laid out a four-pillar framework for integrating AI directly into corporate board governance. This isn't just advisory. It's about AI influencing core strategic decisions. Similarly, Mike's book, The Algorithmic Leader, synthesized research from top business minds, identifying 10 principles for navigating the AI era, underscoring this undeniable shift towards AI-driven decision-making. When more and more critical decisions, from who gets hired to corporate strategy to even national policy, become algorithmically driven, and those algorithms themselves draw from a similar pool of models or data, the risk skyrockets. It means that the choices presented to us, or made on our behalf, start to narrow. Instead of fostering diverse solutions, we could find ourselves in a future where all choices, from a startup's marketing campaign to a nation's energy policy, converge on what a few dominant AI models deem optimal. This December 17th, 2025 definition of algorithmic monoculture as the convergence of diverse decision systems relying on nearly identical algorithms and architectures sums it up. Understanding this isn't about fear-mongering. It's about recognizing that fostering diverse AI development is crucial if we want to prevent a future where all choices converge. What this all means is that the real danger isn't just algorithms being unfair to individuals. It's the quiet, almost invisible pressure they exert on all of us to think and act alike. When the same few models power everything from our job applications to our stock trades, we risk losing the very diversity of thought and approach that drives real innovation and resilience. It's not about magic AI. It's about the very real, very human choices made in its design. Have you ever felt like a social media feed or a shopping recommendation engine was leading you down a particular path, almost narrowing your options over time? Drop your stories in the comments below. If you're interested in understanding how these underlying systems really work and what it means for the future of business, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to dig deeper into how specific AI tools are being built right now to either reinforce or break free from this monoculture, my recent breakdown of how Perplexity AI is tackling information diversity is exactly the next thing you should watch.